How you guys doing? It's 514 Mystic from BookieBullies.com, and this is a little something I like to call the rundown. Yesterday went 3 of 9 or something like that. Had a few winners, mostly losers. That Boston game went over early in the game, and Toronto. If you guys watched that game, Carmelo Anthony hit a big shot for Portland. And like I said yesterday, I won't be sad or disappointed if Portland wins because they're just no good. You live with the results. Toronto had it in the pocket and they shit the bed. It is what it is. These things happen, and that's enough ranting for me. Today we got a short slate of NHL and a long slate of NBA, and we're gonna get right into it. Starting from the top, we got the Washington Capitals versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Flyers finally at home after like a 5 game road trip where they just lost like every single game. Horrible. They're underdogs today, as they should be. They're in a back-to-back situation, but you know what? Washington's also in a back-to-back situation. They're not paying that much, Washington. They're gonna be have, if I'm not mistaken, they got Braden Holtby back at net yesterday. They started Samsonov, 6-1 victory for them. Flyers ended up losing in overtime. So one team had a long stretch of play, and the other one kind of cruised to the finish line. If I had to pick a play, gotta go with Washington here. But again, Flyers, they're a really good home team, but I'm not sure that playing 3 games in 4 days is gonna benefit them at all. So I'd have to go with Washington money line. They're paying a lot better than they were paying yesterday. Gonna go with Washington money line. Totals at 6.5. I'd love to put the under because, like I said, Philly plays better at home, but Washington they score hella goals. So the under might not be the smartest thing to do. Next, we got the Winnipeg Jets versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto heavy favorite today, 50 cents on your buck. Winnipeg paying 270. Neither of these teams played yesterday, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Honestly, no play in this game. I don't like either side. One side's not paying enough, one side's paying too much, and they're not reliable. So I'm gonna skip out on that. Next, we got the Dallas game. You got Dallas versus the Kings. Kings, they're underdog at home. Dallas, they're all right. They're up and down. They're trying to adjust to their new lifestyle since the coach 171 on your buck. 5.0 is the total. I'd probably put this game to go over for a change. Kings kind of allow a lot of goals. They allow a lot. They play physical, but they allow a lot of goals. But if I had to pick a play, I would go with the over. No winners on this. So basically, in the NHL, it seems like I'm only having one pick, and that's Washington, which is also a ballsy pick because Philly, really good home team. Gonna move right on to the NBA. In the NBA, we got the Miami Heat playing versus the Indiana Pacers. If you guys follow me, you know how I feel about the Pacers. I think they're probably the most reliable team in the league. As far as betting goes, they just cover spreads over and over and over again. Today they're playing the Heat, which is really not good on the road. If I had to pick a play, it's got to be the Indiana Pacers. There's no two way around it. They just play as a team, and I really like the Pacers here. Slight advantage for the Pacers. It's a 1.0 favorite. Might get it as a pick 'em other places. You might like the Heat at a 195, but again, they're not a good road team, so be wary of that. Next, we got the Boston Celtics versus the Spurs. Spurs, they're on a roll. Out here doing what they got to do. They blew out the Bucks the other day. Now they're playing the Celtics, another East team. They're gonna see what they could do today. I'd hate to bet against the Celtics. I'm not a big fan of the Celtics, but I hate to bet against them because of the amount of defense that they play. But you know what? I'd have to give the advantage to the Spurs. Give me the Spurs plus 7.0. The total's at 222.0. I'd love to put the over, but again, Boston's defense is it's on cue, so I'm gonna have to stay away from that total. Next, we got Toronto versus Charlotte. Toronto, big upset yesterday. Like I said, they shit the bed. They had Portland in the pocket. They were up 10 going into the fourth, and they blew the lead. Melo came out, gave them he gave them that free throw line jumper, and won the game. 2.5 favorites on the road versus Charlotte. Charlotte is really not that good. Fred VanVleet is going to be out. He's going to be out for an extended period of time with a hamstring injury. 207.5 is the total. This game should probably go way over. I like the Raptors to cover here. Probably a revenge spot for them. But don't take it for granted that Charlotte is just going to lose this game because they're not that good in the rankings. Charlotte is not a like yeah they're record wise they're not a good team, but they could actually score buckets. They could hit threes, they could score buckets, and they can make your life a living hell. So don't take it for granted that Charlotte is just gonna roll over and lose this game. But I like Toronto to win and cover that spread. Next, we got Washington versus Orlando. 9.5 favorite. This is a heavy favorite. Um, I don't I don't think for 1 second that Orlando's covering this spread. Not for 1 second. I understand Washington, they're without Bradley Beal. He might play today. He's a game time decision again, but he might play today. And Washington, they've been getting W's with or without Bradley Beal. They've been winning games over the last over the last, let's say 10 games or so. They've been winning games. 220 is the total. Um, Kind of high for an Orlando game, but it's relatively low for a Washington game. I take the under, but I'd much rather take Washington to cover that 9.5 spread and not get blown out because I don't think Orlando's really that good, anyways. Next, we got the Denver Nuggets versus the Dallas Mavericks. Very good game to watch. Last time we bet on Denver, they allowed, and they ended up allowing Atlanta to score 115 points or so. Um, for a team that's supposed to be priding themselves on defense, they really didn't do a good job executing on that end. I'd like Dallas not only to cover, but I like the game over, and I like Dallas. So give me Dallas minus 3.0 and the over in that game. Next, we got Houston versus Atlanta. Give me Houston minus 8.0 to cover the spread against Atlanta. Something that Denver struggled to do. Yes, they covered, but they struggled to do it. Give me Houston to cover. And the 236.5, I'll have to stay away from because both of these teams could trade, and I'm not convinced that Houston plays such good defense. Next, we got the Bulls versus the Pelicans. Uh, this game should be a toss up. I like the Pelicans to cover here. But I can't bet on either of these teams. I don't care if the Pelicans been getting W's. I can't bet on either of these teams. They're both garbage. I'm gonna stay away. Next, we got the Knicks and the Jazz. Knicks just played yesterday. I said I would probably slip some money on the Knicks. I didn't end up putting it because I came to my senses late in the night when I seen that I was losing a few of the plays from the show. Excuse me. So I came to my senses and said, you know what? Lakers should do what they have to do despite not covering or not. So it's situational. Today we got the Jazz versus these guys. 14.5 spread. I don't think the Jazz do this, but I can't bet on the Knicks. They're in a back-to-back situation, and I just can't do it. But what I will do is put the under 213.5. It's looking like it's gonna stay at that number for a while. There's no movement as far as the totals go, so it'll probably stay here for a bit, and I like the under in this game. And as the last game, we got the Bucks versus the Warriors, 13.5 spread. The Bucks just came off of a blowout in a blowout fashion loss to the Spurs. They lost by like 20 plus points, which was like their biggest margin of loss for the season, something like that. Uh, should easily be a revenge spot where they take it out on Golden State. Doesn't really matter who's coming back, if D'Angelo Russell's coming back, if Draymond Green's on rest, or if he's back, or if Steph Curry comes back, or if Clay. Doesn't matter who's in the lineup. I think the Bucks blow these guys out and keep the game under 217 because they execute on both ends of the floor. I fear for the safety of the Warriors. Give me the cover and give me the under 217. That's pretty much it for me. And just before I give you guys the Bookie Bullies rundown, I'd love you guys to go ahead and smash that like button, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're posted anytime I release videos like these. So, starting from the top, we got the Washington Capitals money line in the NHL. We got the Indiana Pacers to cover at 1.0, but it's a pick 'em, so might as well put the money line. So Pacers money line. Got the Spurs to cover the plus 7.0. Got the Raptors minus 2.5. Got the Wizards plus 9.5. Got the Dallas Mavericks minus 3.0. Got the over 220 in the Nuggets and Dallas game. Give me the Rockets minus 8.0. I got the under 213.5 in the Knicks versus the Jazz, the Bucks to cover the 213.5, and the under 217.5 in that Bucks game. That's 11 plays, and they might be posted on my Twitter. Maybe, maybe not. I haven't been very active on Twitter as of late. Been crazy busy, trying to cash, trying to make bread, and trying to diversify my investments. So, anyways, um, I'll tell you like I tell you all the time. Please don't bet what you can't afford to lose. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So be safe, be good, and I'll see you again tomorrow.